Evening. Evening, Nicole. How are you doing? Evening, Alison. How's everyone enjoying the warm weather? Or are we enjoying the warm weather? Oh dear. Right, just give it a minute for Facebook to catch up and people to join in. As you can tell, I'm absolutely full of it. I don't know if it's a head cold or hay fever, because I was in the garden doing things Friday, Saturday, and then in the garden most of Sunday afternoon with family and things, so not sure which one it is, but it's definitely done something to my voice. So I'm going to start on the Field Notes Folio tonight. Quite a chunky book, although it does go a little bit flatter, but once you've got all your photos and things in, it will bulk up quite a lot. So with a folio, on this one, all your pages and your covers are exactly the same size. So we need to cut. The only one that's cut differently is the rear cover. I'll go through that one at the end. Excuse me. Evening, Alison. Evening, Beth. So, all your pages are 8 1/4 high and 6 1/4 wide. Okay. Hi, Jill. So, we need to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we need to cut 6 pages that will be 8 1/4 by 6 1/4. Evening, Jill. You'll probably be able to do this anyway. So, just before I start cutting up my card, there are still a few kits in the shop. In the kit, you'll get 50 sheets of black, very black cardstock. You'll get your 8x6 Field Notes paper pad, which, as well as the papers, have these lovely die cut tags and labels in there. You'll get your rub-on transfer set, so you'll get 2 each of those of the rub-ons. You'll get a full set of the laser cuts. Now these are great in that you are supposed to pop them out. To be honest, with a lot of mine, they fell out. So I tend to have a tray nearby to put them in, otherwise I end up with them going all over the show. And you'll also get some of the decoupage papers for decorating your pages. As well as that, it's just blown off my desk, you will get your lengths of the PET tape, which is a beautiful, I guess it's kind of plastic. So on this collection you'll get, take my sticker off, I don't know if you'll be able to see these, white cardstock. So you'll get 2 lengths of these. Now these are actually kiss cut stickers, so no fussy cutting, no nothing, just bend them between your fingers and oops, the stickers peel up, easy as. Now with these you can also colour them in with alcohol inks, which I've not done with that one yet, but I have got an idea for it. So you get a length of that, or 2 lengths of that, and then you'll get, oops, 2 lengths of the film strip tape with the butterflies, bits of ephemera in the background. Again, this is just black and white. Again, it's already self-adhesive, so no worrying about where your glue's got to go. So yeah, that's that one. And you'll also get, again, the same amount of this tape. And this one, you can cut it. You can actually die cut them all, but I don't know if you'd want to. Yeah, cut that. You can use large strips, small strips. It just depends on what your own preference is. You can use a full bit, or if you want to just use a little bit on the corner of a page. Not sure if I've put mine on. You'll also get 2 lengths of the ephemera tape. Now this isn't self-adhesive. I know that because I spent a long time trying to stick it down. So again, with that, you can use it as is. You can fussy cut bits out. You can tear it. It is just like an ephemera tape. I don't know if I've actually used... Yeah, I'll show you where I've used that in a minute. Then you also get, oops, 2 lengths of the postage stamps. Now these are all black and white. They do tear like a postage stamp. It does look a bit shiny on the back, but they're not sticky. You do need to use glue with them, which isn't an issue. We tend to use glue with a lot of the things in our crafting, so although I did spend time trying to lick them and stick them. And you'll also get a couple of lengths of that one. These postage stamps that, again, they tear apart, they're not sticky. Yeah, that one's really shiny on the back, so you would think it's gummed on the back, but it's not. I'm just telling you so you don't spend half an hour licking and sticking and they don't stick like I did. And I'll just pop them out of the way. So these are the laser cuts, and these are in the back of the paper pad, the little poppy outs. This here is one of the tags, tickets even. Yeah. These two butterflies, I don't know if it's going to show, are from the laser cuts. So I've just stuck them down with their bodies, and you can lift the wings up. Again, more of the laser cuts. These are the tags that just pop out from the back of the pack. These are some of the rub-ons that actually, they're not like rub-ons of old. I remember having real problems with some of the rub-ons back in the day. They were just not rubbing on as they should have done. Again, this is the pet tape. That one's a sticker. That's one of the rub-ons. They are so good, these rub-ons, but it is difficult to see where they are because they do go into the page really nicely. Again, that's some of the film strip pet tape, which I've actually left that. I've cut it straight as a film cell. And again, that one. These two little hearts are from the stickers, and this is some more of the pet tape, and I've just cut that in a V, like a flag shape. And then on here, that's the rub-ons, but they didn't show up, so I rubbed them onto white card and then cut them out. Again, some more of the pet tape, one of the stickers and some more of the pet tape, rub-ons, photo mats, and one of the other tags. So let's get started. There will be instructions going up in the group, but my computer crashed before and I've not been able to find them on my computer. And fingers crossed, they'll still be there, just not where I think they should be. So we need 6 of the pages. Now for the pages, we need 2 sheets of card for each one. So we're going to cut them at 9 1/4 by 6 1/4. Sorry, 6 3/4. I can't read my own writing. 6 3/4. So again, 9 1/4 by 6 3/4. 9 1/4 by 6 3/4. 9 1/4 by 6 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi Helen. 6 3/4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we need to make the other page of the other side of our pages. So we need to cut this at 8 1/4 by 6 1/4. Now you'll know UK A4 is 8 1/4 wide, so we just need to cut that at 6 1/4. I was showing this to a lady the other day, and she says, "Oh, isn't it great that your pages are just that little bit bigger than the paper pad, so you don't need to trim it down?" And I said, yeah, it's almost as if I planned it that way. Four, 5, 6. Just let me double check. 1, 2, whoops, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4. So, with your offcuts, obviously the larger offcuts they can be used for pockets, backing your tags, anything like that. With the smaller offcuts, those can be used, I was going to say for smaller pockets, but I don't know if we've got any that small anyway. These ones, if you've got a die cutting machine, are great for cutting out sentiments or individual letters. If you've got a letter alphabet. Where's mine? So I've got one that's about 1 inch and a bit tall, so that you can die cut all your letters out of that. So it's not really waste, it's just cut to size to be used later. So make a bit more room on my desk. So with the smaller, put the smaller pieces to one side, get your scoreboard out, and what we need to do is we need to score these. So on the long 9 1/4 inch side, we need to score at 1/2 inch, and at 8 3/4, and then you spin it round to the 6 1/4 inch side and score at 1/2 inch. So I'm doing that on all of your pieces. So 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch, spin it round, and 1/2 inch on that side. So the scores that you're making form a U shape on your card. So 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 8 3/4, spin it round, and again at 1/2 inch. Let's quickly do the rest. Oops. You do need to press on fairly firmly, but don't press on that hard. I was with some crafting friends a while ago, and they pressed on so hard with their ball tool that it actually tore through the cardstock. if you're finding that's happening with you, move to a bigger ball tool, or don't press on so hard. Obviously don't use a huge one, just go up in little incremental sizes. So we've cut all those, we've scored all those ready. And buried my scissors. What we're going to do on all of these, just so you can see, I've scored this should show up on screen. So, as you can see, I've just gone over them in a white pencil. So that's how your score lines will be on your pockets. What you need to do then is to cut from the side up to your join there, twist your paper slightly and cut that off again. Again, we're going to go up to the join, twist it and cut that off again. And we're going to do that on all of the pages. If I'm going too fast for you, let me know and I'll slow down. If I'm not going fast enough, go and get yourself a drink in this heat of something nice and cold. Up to the crease and turn your paper slightly. So you've got all of all of those cut off. And the reason we cut the corners off is that it just saves you having a really bulky corner on your, where you've got lots of different layers of papers or cardstock. So gonna take just one of these, fold that over and give it a really good burnish down so you get quite a nice sharp, just showing up enough for you. Nice sharp crease on the edge. And again, do that with all your creases. Oops. So you need to do that with all of them. Fold them over. I find it easier, so where the bump is up from your fold, push that down and that gives you your fold on there. I'm going slightly off skew with that one. There we go. So again, we're just folding that over. And creasing the edges down. Again, just fold it over, make sure you get a nice sharp crease. And finally on the last one. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to put the other side of the page. Now I've left these at 8 1/4 by 6 1/4, just in case, if you, depending on how big your crease line is, they may just slot in, or they may be less than 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch out. So mine are really sharp, so I'm just gonna bring this down by about 1/16 of an inch, and when I do that, that will just slide in there. Get it straight. So then we need to glue these down. So I'm just going to trim all these down. What I'm going to do, 6 1/4. If I show you with white card, and just trim a little bit off the edge. So that's going to slide. That will just slide inside there. It will line up, and then you just need to glue under your flaps and glue those in place, and that will give you each of your pages. Okay, so move the white out of the way. I'm just going to trim all these down ever so slightly. As I say, it does depend on the width of your ball tool, the width of your crease. The bigger the ball tool, it can be a bigger crease, which can then mean you've got less room for your inner cardstock. I do it this way rather than cutting them smaller from the start, because if, for instance, your crease is really sharp, it does mean that it might not fill the gap. There may be a bit of a gap. It's one of them, because the creases can move. Because your ball tool can be different sizes and the crease be different sizes, it does mean that there is that. And when you fold it, if you fold it dead on the line, or just a millimetre or two either side of the measurement, it can give you that difference. So once you've got them in place, pop your glue on, fold that over and give it a good push down. My glue's quite runny in here because the sun's been in my craft room all afternoon, so it's got very hot. And again, glue these down. So we're going to do this with all 6 of our pages. Okay, so I'll get our next one. So put the smaller one, oops, slide that inside, and that's still a smidge too long, so it is really just, it's not, well, it might just be a millimetre that you need to be trimming off. Like I say, there's so many things that can affect how big your creases are. It's really difficult, which is why if you cut things on the larger side, oops, and they are too big, it's easy to cut it down, to trim it down like this. If it's cut too short, sometimes there's a way around it, not always. It's easier to take off than to add on length with your cardstock and your papers. Get it straight. No, that one's still a smidge. So although these were all cut the same size, some are a little bit tighter than others. Make sure it's straight when you pop your glue on that end. Believe this sun shines around for at least the next few days, which should be nice. Although I can't say I'd be devastated if we have a thunderstorm at the minute. We do need it, and if we do have a thunderstorm, it means I don't have to go out and water the garden. Yeah. So again, we're just going to pop the glue on the flaps. And make sure they're all pressed down firmly. So in this hot weather, what's your favourite thing to have in the garden? Is it a cold glass of wine or an ice cream? Oh, nobody wants to admit to liking a cheeky ice cream in the sun. Over, push that down, and then just the last one. Again, just line it up. Fold that over. So now we've got our 6 pages ready. Now, when I say pages, that includes our front 2 covers. Our front cover, I should say. So, this is page 1. this is page, so that's the back, sorry, page 1. This is page 2, that's the back of page 1. Then you've got page 3, the back of page 3, page 4, page 5, and page 6. So now we need our back cover. This is slightly different. So for the back cover, again, we need it at 9 1/4. And Magnum Ice Lolly, that sounds good. Followed by a cold gin, and so that sounds really good at the minute. Beth, did I see pictures of you on Facebook up at Grandpa Green's? So again, we're doing it at 9 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then the next one we need at 8 1/4, or just under 8 1/4 by just under 6 1/4. Move my trimmer out of the way. Now with this one, it's slightly different because you're going to have pages and hinges in either side of this. We don't need to close it, we need both sides open. So we're just going to score at 1/2 inch on the long side. So we're going to score at 1/2 inch. And at 8 3/4 inches. I bet the kids loved it. Their ice cream sundaes are very, very nice, but I think 2 of us shared one last time we went up and didn't manage to finish it all. But yeah, it's a lovely walk up there, up along the canal. So this is our back cover. And again, we just slide that in and pop your glue on the top, burnish it down, and on the bottom. So if you've got a white pen, you can write on here, or a white pencil I should say, back. Then on all your other pages, oops, what's done there? Oh, that one's not stuck. We're going to do front page 1. So that's going to attach onto there and open up with the waterfall there. So I'm going to put front left. And then these all fold out on the right hand side of the book. So from the right hand side, page 1, right hand side, page 2, right hand side. I just find it easier if you write this on. You can do it in pencil if you can then find the pencil mark on there, but with it being black cardstock, it's easier to write it on in a white pencil. So right hand side, page 5. Okay. For some reason that little bit's not stuck. So I'll just burnish that down. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's your back. And that's your front left page. Okay. I think, seeing as how there's a good pub guide, we should have a good ice cream shop guide as well. Especially in this heat. Now, with this being a folio, our hinges, I'm not going to glue them on, I'm not going to glue our pages onto our hinges just yet. The reason being, it's easier to work on your pages whilst it's flat. So, the first thing you need to do is decide from your papers which paper you want for your front page. Now, this is a paper pad, and they are gummed at the side, and you get 2 sheets of each paper. So you've got, that one, and that has like a mottled peach colour on the back with script writing. Then you've got that one, which I feel that goes really well with that one across a double layout, but that's just me, with all your loopings, I think. And again on the back you've got this distressed pink pattern. You've got your navyish blue with your poppies, which also have poppy shadows in the background, with your green check. You've got this with all your florals up the outside in different colours and a peachy pink check. Then you've got this text and floral page with pink check on the back. You've got this with just one very big flower and some text on with stripy background. Then you've got this one with your florals and a distressed background and green check on the back. You've got your butterflies with I think that's a ditzy yellow flower. You've got this green with distressed dots on it and a bit of text that's got a blue diagonal pattern. You've got this part of a circle with your different colours on, with a green spot on the back, and then you've got this with flower bouquets. I want to say the roses, but I'm not 100% sure. And that's got the blue text on the back. And then you get 2 sheets of your tags, your circular pop outs, and 12 of the words at the bottom. So pick a paper from the front that's not the one I used before. That'd be interesting. So I'm gonna use, I think I'm gonna use this one. Now, because they have they're gummed at the top, what Arden have done with these pads is they've put a branding strip. Normally they don't do branding strips on the 6x8 pads, only on the big 12x12. But by doing that, sometimes when you pull the papers out ever, and you've probably noticed this with many other pads, it doesn't always give you a clean line. So with this one, because it's quite faint at the top, if you flip it over, it gives you a solid line to be able to trim your branding strip off at the top. So I'm going to use that for my front left hand page. So that will just line up, which gets it straight, on there, leaving a small black reveal around the edge. Now, I'm going to distress the edges. Now on the original one, I distressed them in, I think it was a light brown. Probably distressing, yeah, with the distress it probably gathered twigs. But I've tidied up. Now the big question is, am I going to use brown again, or should I use a different colour? No, I'm sticking with gathered twigs. I'm afraid they're like. I'll get my distress ink out of the drawer. And I'm just going to gently tickle the edges of the cardstock. And what this does, because it's a white core cardstock, if you look down at the edge, if I show you on the pad, the inside, so the front and back of the cardstock, it says paper pad but it is more like cardstock, is all white. So sometimes that can show through and it can be a bit harsh on the edges. But if you get your, it doesn't have to be distress ink, it can be distress oxides, it can be any blending ink really. But that just takes off the harsh white edge. Line it up. And it just makes it a little bit softer around the edge on that. So I'm just going to pop some glue on there. And by doing this, I'm putting my front page on now. It means I'm not going to pick, it means that I'm not going to use it by accident, which has been known in the past. So just line that up. Now on this one, I'm going to write in pencil, front, left. And I can rub that off later when I build the front panel up. So, the front right hand side, I need my back page. So, on the inside of your front page, you've got two corner pockets, like that. And then on the inside of the back page, you've got this waterfall. So when you pull this down, all your photos will flip up like that, so you can see them all. So you've room there for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 11 just under 6x4 inch photographs. So what I'm going to do is work on these corner cut pockets. Okay, so for this now you can use your offcuts. So if we go to other ones, the larger ones that we cut off, so the pockets are 4 inches high by 2.5 inches across. So, oops. So we're going to cut them at 4 inches. Now we're going to cut at 4.5 by 3. So cut that down to 3, and then 4.5, and do another one down to 3 inches. Sorry, down to 4 inches, 4.5 by 3 inches. Now get our scoreboard. Move that ink out of the way. And we're going to score these at 1/2 inch on 2 adjoining sides. So what that means is, you get your cardstock. So we're going to score at 1/2 inch and then turn it by 90 degrees and score at 1/2 inch again. And then we're going to do exactly the same with the other one. So we're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 1/2 inch on the 4.5 inch side. So we're going to again excuse me, we're going to cut the corners off, and then we're going to mitre that corner, just turn it slightly and trim that off, and I'll do exactly the same with this one, like that. Now you need to turn them so that the 2 corners that are cut off are opposite each other. It doesn't matter which way you've scored it, as long as when you fold them, you fold underneath and again folding it underneath, and then again the same with this one, if you fold it back on itself and again folding it back. Oops. So that when you have got them, both the folds are opposite each other. Now that's important that you get that to this. If you've done it and when you fold them you've got one and they're both the same, you just need to fold it round. It's not a problem. Then what you need to do is from the edge of your pocket, yeah, so from the crease line where your pocket is creased, you want to score it so it's 1 inch in from the outside, and then if you pop it down and mark it at 2 inches down from the top. So then if you get your pencil and draw a line, and let me get my white pencil, so 1 inch across the top, an inch that way and 2 inches down, and that's what we're going to trim off. So exactly the same on this one. So from your open edge you want 1 inch in, And so your folded corner is there, and again 2 inches down to there, and then just get your white pencil so what we're going to do now is we're just going to take our scissors and cut those corners off. So again, we're going to take our scissors and trim that corner off. Okay, so they will then go on the back of our front page. So they're going to sit like that on the bottom of that page. So again, we put our glue on the 2 folds. And make sure they're lined up on both sides. And then again, just pop that on there like that. And we'll line them up, both sides, just like that. And then I'm just going to rub off where that white pencil was so it's not seen. So, as you can see on the back of your front page, you have got a pocket where you can put a large photo mat in there. Okay, so that's your front page, or your front left page, and the reverse of that. So we'll do that. I'll go through decorating that next week, and then we'll move on with the inside of the back cover. So I'm really sorry, I'm really struggling at the minute. And my strepsils have stopped working, I think. So if it's all right with you, I will leave that there for tonight. We'll work through the next pages next week, doing the pockets and the flaps and getting everything together, and then we'll do the hinges. Like I said, there are a few kits left in the shop, and then we shall continue to work on this next week. Have a lovely weekend, everyone. Make sure you get your crafty fix in a nice cool craft room, if there is a cool room anywhere in your house at the moment. So have a lovely weekend, and I will see you all back here next week. I will, once I've discovered where the instructions have hidden in my computer, I will put those up in the group for the pages and the pockets for tonight. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye.